Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 206 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. It's nice to have you here. If I sound congested, it's because I am. I've tested. I don't think I have COVID. It's negative, but, I'm very congested. So I don't know. I don't feel bad, but the show must go on. So I'm sorry if this is going to annoy you. Maybe just skip to the last one and listen to it. But I'm going to do my best to not sound annoying. So I have a question for you guys. How is your reality? Like, how are things around you? The actual things you see, not what you're thinking about, not what you're watching, not what you're creating in your head as possible, like possible problems. What is actually in front of you? Because when we really think about it and we start being aware of the facts of what's going on, we realize a lot of the problems we have are created in our head. I mean, we had a lot of people at our house recently for a party. And if you're listening to this in current time, I mean, we are still in the throngs of COVID and all that brings. And so we have all of these people that are coming to our home. It's beautiful, lovely people. And there are lots of, conversations going on all over our house. And these are acquaintances. They're not really close friends, most of them. There were two conversations that I happened upon that were all about the vaccine. Now, that's a big topic, of course, because, it's on everyone's mind. I mean, COVID's on everyone's mind for the last 2 years. But I happen to be I stumble upon these conversations, and these women are precious. They don't really know me that well or what my thoughts are about the topic. So they're just giving their opinions about getting it or not getting it. So, I mean, I know why I'm attracting this kind of conversation. It's because we're going to Belize soon, and we have to test negative in order to get out of the country or in order to get into Belize for our sailing trip. And so that's a little stressful because I really want to be able to go. And it's a relaxing, adventurous trip. And so I know COVID has been on my mind, and I'm sure that's why these conversations even came on my radar. So I do have opinions about the vaccine, okay? I think if you want it, you should get it. And if you don't want it, then you shouldn't get it. Who knew that would be controversial? So I started to replay a few of these conversations in my head after the party, like we all do. And the thoughts that my brain threw out were things like, I'm just so tired of being attacked. I'm tired of people judging me on things they know nothing about. And then I was like, no, wait a minute. Hold up. What was actually said? And why am I making it mean something bad about me? We always do that, don't we? So when I stepped outside of my thoughts for a minute and I got really clear on what was said, I realized it wasn't attacking me personally at all. Basically, one lady said she thinks it's insane not to get the vaccine, and the other called her best friend a conspiracy theorist for not getting it. That had nothing to do with me at all. These are very precious women who I really enjoy talking to. But if I had let my brain just run away with random thoughts, I would have quickly talked myself into victim mode. I even considered calling my friend who thinks just like me and venting. But now I'm creating more and more feelings of victimhood. I mean, I'm actually rallying the troops. Which, is that going to calm things down, or is that going to ramp them up? I mean, just because our brains want to start some trouble, it doesn't mean we have to let it. We control our brain, especially when we're living and thinking intentionally, when we're aware of our thoughts rather than lost in them. And it's easy to think that our brain is in control if we just go with any thought it throws out there. I mean, it's kind of like the old saying, the tail is wagging the dog. That came to mind when I was thinking about this, so I actually looked up the definition to make sure that it applies here. And it's actually perfect. What they mean when they say the tail is wagging the dog is the part that is less powerful is running the whole show. Well, we are in control of our brain. We are not our thoughts. We are way more powerful when we tell our brain, I can see what you're doing there, but that's not serving us. I'm not about to give my power away to silly thoughts. I'm not going to villainize people because they have an opinion I don't share. And I'm not going to be so egotistical that I think everyone I'm talking to has me in mind when they're making their statements. They don't. So stop taking everything so personally. And I'm saying that to myself. I mean, I have that, my dad used to say I have thin skin. So I say, there's that old thin skin my dad used to say I had, rearing its head again. But now that I'm aware of it, I can just laugh and say it's not about me unless I make it about me. So when I started talking and I asked when I started actually talking on this episode and I asked what's right in front of you right now that's actually happening, that's actually part of your experience, that's what I mean. I mean, I had a wonderful time at that party, and those conversations were not negative at all. They were not trying to be rude at all. I was just being sensitive and victim-y later. Now, real quick, let's just say those women did know how I felt, and they still made those statements. Let's say they actually kind of berated me for my stance on things. Am I the victim now? Heck no. Now I'm just a person with a different opinion. I'm a person that believes something different. That's all. Just because it feels justified to be angry or justified to feel victimized doesn't mean it's serving you. It's kind of like my husband likes to say, when you have the right of way, but you see a car isn't stopping for you, you don't just go anyway. Just because you have the right of way. I mean, you could be right. I mean, you're dead, but you're right. We have to be smarter than that. Absolutely refuse to give anyone the power to make you a version of yourself that you don't like. I don't like to be angry. I don't like to feel unworthy, and I certainly don't like to feel like a victim. But how often do we let our thoughts about what other people do or say make us feel angry, make us feel unworthy, or even victim-y? I'm making words up. But no one should be allowed to have that power over us. They just want to feel significant, and right, let them. It doesn't mean anything about you unless you make it mean something about you. And this is a work in progress. It isn't always easy to do. But I promise you, the more you're aware of your actual surroundings and notice that a lot of our life and most of our problems are created right in our own head, that's why I love to write in my journal every morning. Life is happening for me, not to me. Remember, whatever you're going through right now, make sure you're not making it worse in your head. In fact, see if you can make it better. Ask yourself good questions. Like, how is this working out in my favor? What good can I get from this? How can I use this to make myself better? Those are really good questions to ask. My challenge to you today is just notice. Notice when your brain is making something worse than it is. Notice it when it wants to make you into a victim. Let's agree to stop taking ourselves so seriously, and let's stop being so easily offended by others. They're usually harmless words and harmless actions, and we make them mean something. You're not a victim. Stop playing one. And we all do it, but it never serves us long term. Our power lies in the ability to take responsibility for every single action and emotion we have. It's really empowering to begin to know that deep in your core. Share this with 2 people today. Don't think about it. Just do it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.